So it was hard for me to hold the mic and read the book the last time. And the new book, I received it. I just looked at that. I don't know. I got it from Goodreads. I'm gonna insert a clipping because Goodreads does adult books as well as children's books. Most of the time, I like to do children's books so I can do like the read along for the kids. And you could just put me on and walk off about 5-10 minutes, and I have the book read to the kids, and I give my input about the book at the end. I just did the Nuff book. It was adorable, and so it's called How Are You? Variety. Variety is bubbling with excitement about an upcoming school field trip to the aquarium. When their neighbors ask, "How are you?" Variety loves to reply by sharing facts about all the fascinating creatures that live in the sea. Variety's brother, John, kindly suggests that people say, "How are you?" just to be polite. Variety plans an experiment to figure out if their brother is right. When the field trip to the aquarium is canceled, Verity is heartbroken, but John helps them find an authentic answer to "How are you?" This thought-provoking story will help shift the perspective of all kids to illustrate the complexity of social expectations and the importance of celebrating differences. It includes a reader's note with more information about neurodiversity and supporting children who are neurodivergent. Okay, that's something different. Written by Ms. Meghan Duff. She's a PhD and illustrated by Tyler Barren. She is adorable, okay? So on the limb, I'll come up a little bit. Oh, y'all, my back, okay? On the limb of the old oak tree, Variety was imagining that there were vampire squid. They were so excited for their upcoming field trip to the aquarium. That's the vampire squid. "How are you, Variety?" Mr. Nugent called as he walked by. "Mr. Nugent, did you know vampire squids aren't vampires or squids? They are chlorophyll pods like octopuses and squids, and they are only chlorophyll pod who don't hunt for food. They eat marine snow. I like all chlorophyll pods. We're going to see a giant Pacific octopus at the aquarium. That sounds very interesting." He resumes to walk. So apparently he wasn't listen. He didn't want to hear that. Okay. "How are you, Variety?" Mr. Abrams asked. "Hi, Mr. Abrams. Did you know that they have sea sheep at the aquarium? Sea sheep are a type of sea slug, and sea slugs are so much more colorful than slugs that live on land. Sea sheep take the chlorophylls from the algae they eat and keep them to make energy out of sunlight." Mr. Abrams listened, learning about sea sheep, which were new to him. "How are you, Variety?" Miss Shing. "Did you know that it takes hundreds and hundreds of years for plastic to decompose? The plastic breaks into tiny, tiny pieces, then animals eat it and get sick. People think the seas are vast, but we make so much trash, and plastic contributes to climate change, which also hurts the ocean." So listen, let's talk about that. I remember when I was in school, and that's when I learned about like the plastic things that hold the cold drinks or pops, as people call them. But the plastic thing that holds the pops, they told us to start slicing them because when they go, like if it does go into the ocean, if um, it's not recycled like it's supposed to, and it goes into the ocean, the animals will get caught in it and end up passing away. So that's why they wanted you to do this. So I understand why Variety is saying that. So the next one is, "We should definitely recycle more," said Miss Sheen. See what I told you? Recycle. You know, Variety, most of the time when people ask you, "How are you?" they are just greeting you, like saying hi. Their brother John said. They probably don't expect to hear about sea life. Variety thought for a moment. It sure sounds like a question, Variety said. They thought up a way to see if their brother was right. Hi, Miss Sandoval. How are you? Variety called out from the tree. Hi, Variety. We're good. It's a beautiful day for a walk. It is, Variety replied. A good day to sit in the tree and think about what it would be like to change the color and texture of your skin like an octopus. Listen, Variety on a whole nother level, okay? Variety called out, how are you, to their other new neighbor, Finn. He smiled, good. I got a new truck. I like it. Purple is my favorite color. Mine too. My birthstone. Variety said, thinking of the purple, Google-eyed, stubby squid. Variety spotted the grouchiest person in the neighborhood. Should they ask him? How are you, Mr. Anderson? Should have been Mr. Alex. Mr. Anderson looked up and squinted at Variety. Variety says, I love to read too, especially about sea animals. Mr. Anderson nodded and almost smiled. Variety felt a jolt of joy and went on her way. How did it go, John asked. Most of the people just said, good, how are you? Seems like a fancy way to say hello. Sometimes people are so easy to figure out, thought Variety. It will it was all going quite well until they received a notice from school. Notice, field trip has been canceled. Curled up on the couch, Variety's chest ached and they blinked back tears. How are you, Variety asked. Variety's lips trembled. Were they supposed to say good now? Oh, bless her heart. Variety, I'm asking you right now because I know if I love sea animals as much as you and my trip to the aquarium got canceled, I would be so upset. Variety burst. I wanted to see the spider crabs and isopods at the deep sea exhibit and go to touch the tank and hold orchids and sea stars. You can feel them walk across your hand on their little tube feet. And I was going to see the real giant Pacific octopus. I'm sorry your trip was canceled. I'm really glad you told me all of the animals you were excited to see, John said. We'll go to the aquarium someday. We will. Variety hugged their favorite stuffed animal and they just had an idea. Will you help me? They asked their brother. Welcome to our aquarium. I'll be introducing you to the animals today. Please let me know if you have any questions. So everybody is going around. She has the freshwater fish. She has the touch tank and the chloropods. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, y'all. How are you, Variety? Variety says good. Reader's notes. Lord Jesus. So it says, when I was Variety age, I realized that things that were obvious to other people were not always obvious to me. It was not obvious that when people asked me, how are you? They didn't want to know how I was or what I was excited about at that moment. As an adult, I'm much faster at figuring out how to respond when someone asks, but I still think about how I answer. I know that in some public social situations, I can reply good and leave it at that, though it still feels strange to say, especially on days when it's not true. Growing up has changed my reaction to hearing how were you, but it has given me experience that helps me figure out whether that is a quick exchange, someone wanting to reconnect and have a long conversation, or even someone realizing I might not be doing okay and offering to listen. Variety also shares my love of sea life. My family and friends encourage and support in my interests, but I sometimes receive feedback that I was sharing too much, sharing at the wrong time, or sharing when people just weren't interested. I also received the message in the form of a gentle nudge or sometimes a plea that I should be more interested in other, more conventional things that people my age are supposed to be are supposed to like. I'm sorry. These messages made me nervous that I was doing something wrong. something that was not obvious to me. I wish that I could just know all the rules, or that I had someone like Verity's brother who could just ask and would explain it to me.